Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Arcantu here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. Happy Friday. It's been a week. It's been a wet week if you're in New Jersey. It was a stormy, wet week. But you don't have to be sad about the day because you're going to hear a great story today, thanks to my conversation that I'm getting ready to have with you now with Isabel Schwartz. I'm so excited to talk with her today. I got connected with Isabel through one of our YWCA of Northern New Jersey board members, Christina Metz, and she told me all about how Isabel um, has started a nonprofit organization, and her organization is aimed to inspire confidence and empower young students through the donation of beauty and hygiene products. It's, I think, a great opportunity for us to hear about Isabel's philanthropic journey. And hopefully, it's something that will inspire two things. We're hoping one is that you support the great work that Isabel is doing. And two, we hope that you share this story with other young women in your life so that they can hear about how, when they have an idea to try to make the world a better place, how they can see it through, like Isabel did. So it's exciting to hear a little bit about her story. So let me tell you a little bit about some background here. The idea for Foundation Beauty came to Isabel while she was doing some Zoom school sessions about this time last year. She's 15 years old. She was born in New York City, and she attends Hunter College High School in Manhattan. Isabel saw the income disparity on Zoom and could relate to how stressed and also sad that some of her friends really were. And so, to break the monotony of Zoom school, she started to experiment with makeup and found that it was really lifting her mood. And in addition to not being able to go to school, she also learned that some of her peers were not able to afford some of the basic hygiene items that they would need to have in their homes. And so she decided that she would partner with beauty and hygiene companies that regularly have excess supplies of these items that are perfectly good products, but end up getting destroyed when things don't sell. So, or when they need room on the shelf for something new. So she decided to work with the companies to get those products and connect them to people who need them, which is such a great idea. Uh, Foundation Beauty also aims to be sustainable and donates products that otherwise would go into landfills. She has partnered with 501c3 organizations that give to vetted students, and since November of 2020, she has given out over 600 kits and received over $300,000 of beauty donations. Isabel, that's so incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So I have so many questions to ask you, but let's start with you telling us a little bit more about your experience and your process about paying it forward with this beauty and hygiene product idea that you had.
Well, it all started in like summer 2020. So before that, I hadn't really done, like real volunteer work. But I started with City Meals on Wheels. I started with different volunteer organizations, and I realized that I really liked doing this type of volunteer work and just, helping others. And I knew I wanted to do something for myself and something that, I could relate to as a teenage girl, to help other people that are similar to me. And so I started Foundation Beauty during the summer, and our first donation, as you said, was in November 2020, and it was to an organization, a really, really great organization that I got connected to called Poetic, and it's in Dallas. And I actually flew out there with my dad, and we made our kids in the hotel room. And so we had gotten a couple donations before that from Necessaire, from Fenty Beauty, and so, we started out with smaller donations, but we made these kits, and we gave them out to these girls who'd been, abused, who'd been raped, who'd been, sexually assaulted. And I think, just seeing how amazing it was and seeing like how happy they were to receive these kits that, just took a little bit of my time, but it just made so much of a difference. And, I was really, really happy and grateful to be able to do that.
That's amazing. And how exciting that you actually got to fly to Dallas and, in the midst of this crazy time, be able to
Yeah.
have that experience of like handing off your kits right to the girls in need. That's so cool. So, I mean, you had this great idea, of this need, and then you thought, okay, well, companies must have extras, so let me use those. But how did you actually make the connection to the companies and to these various brands to get their excess inventory in the first place, and then from there figure out how to get it all delivered together? Like, in my mind, I'm just seeing, like, first of all, how did you get them to send it to you? And then when you did, like, where'd you put all these boxes and how did you like assemble these kits?
Yeah. So starting off with donations, when I was kind of doing research for the nonprofit, finding out legal stuff, and just seeing people who've done similar things, I reached out and emailed a lot of organizations who did similar things. So donating beauty products, donating hygiene items to different communities around the country. And I got connected with one, and she definitely gave me really good advice. It's called Project Beauty Share, and she told me a lot of things about donations, and telling me like, oh, like, don't take used items, or it's just a lot more work. And so from there, she also connected me with brands, and I did a mentorship with an organization called Built by Girls. And so there I was connected with an Amazon employee named Gigi, and she also connected me with brands, and she helped me go over my business plan and review things, so I was much more organized. And so from there, I would also just like cold email and cold call different brands. So I'd go on their website, find the people who I thought would be useful and who would know about whether they had excess inventory, and then I would just email them. And sometimes they responded, sometimes they didn't, and I would get most of my first donation somehow. And then after that, it was kind of like word of mouth. So, from my Instagram, as you're showing right there on the screen, and just from people talking about it, people spreading information about Foundation Beauty. Then, other brands heard and they emailed me and they were like, oh, I'd like to donate, or we have extra at this place. Do you think you could pick it up? And so from there, it was more so coordinating the donation of products. So I've learned so much from that, mostly about logistics and, being really, really organized with like spreadsheets and things like that. And so once I have the products, we usually ship it to our house, and my mom gets angry at me because our apartment is filled with makeup. We have boxes and boxes that I have to organize of, lipsticks and just foundation and everything there. And so that's essentially where I store it. And then to make the kits, I'll take out what I need from all of the boxes, and then I'll lay out like the big plastic bags that I use to put the donations in, and then just sort it like through different types to give kind of like a complete kit. And then I'll make the kits, and then usually somebody will drive me for the donation.
Wow. I mean, that's such an involved process and so many steps to it. And you sure have it down pat. So do you do this all by yourself? Do you have a group of volunteers or friends that you've engaged to help you?
I mean, I do it all by myself. I do all the kits and the emailing and social media by myself. I'm really lucky to have my parents supporting me on it, and so they're able to drive me sometimes. I'm not able to drive yet to donations, but I do all of the creating and stuff myself.
That's amazing. I just went and liked your Instagram page, and we hope that everyone else does the same thing. You can find Foundation Beauty under Foundation Beauty on Instagram. And just as Isabel said, there's so much information there, and you can see how she's out in the community. So, one of the things that strikes me as you're talking about all the different pieces of your business that you've created, and even though it's non-for-profit, it still is a business, that you've put together. What's been the hardest thing to learn, and kind of a grasp of this process? Because there's so many pieces. I mean, you talked about, when we think about big businesses, the planning, the organizing, the logistics, getting everything back out. I mean, so many pieces to it.
I think the hardest thing has definitely been keeping my nonprofit Foundation Beauty in a place that I'm comfortable with. So, we do have our limits. So, we'd like to accept, actually in the beginning, Sephora was like, can you take 7 like huge boxes on like an 18-wheeler? And I hadn't even got like a donation before that. It was just too much for me at that moment. I still had to email people to see if people would actually want donations from me. And so, just keeping it in a place where I can manage it and I can be successful with my kids and I can give out enough, but not, overburden myself or make it so big that I can't control it. And so I've been getting donations from different companies and, just like emailing people and saying like, this is how much we need. This is the exact number. And, see if they can provide that for us so that we can, make the best kits we can with a proper amount of materials and not like having any waste ourselves with the, products that we don't use. Also, within my limits and within Foundation Beauty, using new products and not used products because we don't have the capabilities right now. It's just a lot more work and you need kind of like a whole team of volunteers to clean older products that have been used already. And so we'll tell brands and we'll tell, the companies that I ask for donations only new products and just, as I said before, keeping it within the limits of what I can achieve right now.
Yeah, well, that's a really important skill to kind of to be able to manage that, that piece of like kind of being overwhelmed and what you can do and what you can't. So that's tremendous that you've been able to really work on that. I see our friend Christina Metz is watching and cheering us on for this story, which is great. So when you think about other, young women and young people who have an idea like you did, and they may not even think that they could bring it to this point. What are some like words of inspiration that you'd like to share to them, or something that you really learned from your journey that you think would be helpful for them in terms of theirs?
I think it's important to remember that even though you're young and even though, young women in this time are being able to do more and more things, people will doubt you and people will say, oh, you're only 15, you're only 14. How can you be making such a big thing? Or how can we donate to you? How can we trust you if you're such a little, nonprofit and little organization? And so, you just have to put it as fire to your butt. You have to make it something that motivates you and something that will make you email more companies and that will, make you want to do better. And so I guess I just say, try it out and see what you can do in the communities around you. See, start out small, maybe with volunteering or something, and just see how that makes you feel because it's a really, really amazing thing. And I'm fortunate to be able to do it and to be able to have made this huge organization with just so much support. And so I guess, just test your boundaries and see what you can do around you to help those in need.
Great advice. So if there is someone who wants to support your organization, what are some ways that they can do that?
So right now they can reach out through email for either, money donations or product donations. And so our email is isabel@foundationbeauty.org. Also, if they'd like to look at our website, foundationbeauty.org, which is listed in the live stream, we have a contact us page for info at Foundation Beauty email. And so they can have any questions there, or they can just like tell me if they're planning something or have something to donate, and that's how they would access us.
That's great. And so for our viewers, as Isabel said, we are obviously flashing the website and the IG page right coming across the screen. We've also dropped the links right into the comments. And both in the comments, not only do we have the website and the IG page, but we also have Isabel's email at foundationbeauty.org. And we also have the product donation email directly. That's donateproduct@foundationbeauty.org. So if you have a connection to some products that you think would be great for one of her kids, please reach out to Isabel and you can be part of this amazing effort that she is connected to. Now, if there's an organization or a group that someone is thinking about, how do you pick them? What's the right, like what should people, obviously so many people are connected to different organizations and girls in need. What should we be thinking about and who should we be connecting you to if there's someone that's in need for your product?
Well, definitely, the right set of people, I guess. So if I've reached out to a lot of organizations and they've said, oh, we only have like this amount of girls, or we don't have, people that age at this time. So, between the ages of kind of like 12 and 2022, students currently, and that's specifically my focus. And, there's a lot of nonprofits, but in 2017, actually, there was only like 1.5% dedicated to women and youth in need. And so I'd say just like in that target range, and people who would like a donation of makeup and hygiene products, and who would be in need of it.
So you'd want to connect to an organization that has access to a group of girls.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you heard that, folks. If you are connected, not only if you have a product donation to give or some dollars that you'd like to put towards this great cause, but also if you are connected to an organization, and it can be anywhere in the country, clearly. Isabel traveled to Dallas for one of her donations. But if you have a connection to a organization that serves girls in that age range that Isabel just mentioned, please reach out to her and let her know, and she can consider them to be part of her effort as well, which is very exciting. So Isabel, this conversation is really similar to ones that I have with women that are, full-fledged entrepreneurs full time, for their, in their life at this point. But, I know it's, you're still a student and it is summer vacation. So what does a nonprofit mogul like you do, who's still in school and on summer vacation? How do you spend your summer vacation?
Well, I mean, right now for Foundation Beauty, I'm gearing up towards my September donation. So, back to school. I was recently in contact. I had a meeting yesterday with another brand, seeing if we could get a donation from them. For more normal stuff, though, I mean, I love to read, and I'll read about everything. I mean, I read nonfiction, fiction, classics. I recently finished Pachinko, which was really good. It's about like a family of Koreans in the Korean-Japanese takeover. Also, I help with my sister, so I'll babysit, I'll bring her to camp, and mostly normal things. Foundation Beauty does take up a lot of my time, but I really enjoy doing it. It's kind of like a hobby to me, and so, yeah, that's basically what I'm doing this summer.
Okay.
And, spending time with my family.
And spending time with your family. Well, it sounds like you've got a great summer ahead. And I know that it goes fast, so you definitely have to try to enjoy it. And then what are your next, thoughts for your growth of your organization?
Just donating as much as you can, getting big donations, big partnerships, and just expanding our reach across the country, across the tri-state area. Also, getting our 501c3. Soon we're going to be a 501c3 organization. And so with that, we're going to be able to get more donations from some bigger companies, and just, being able to help the most people that I can with our kids, and just inspiring the most confidence and making them the happiest they can be with this form of help.
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm done.
Please go on. I'm listening.
Yeah, just making it so I can give the most kits out and to the most organizations across the tri-state area that, would need this type of help.
That's great. That's great. Well, we're cheering you on, and I'm actually going to end this broadcast with extending an invitation to you to maybe come present for our Girls Leadership Academy at the YWCA of Northern New Jersey.
Yeah, that would be really great. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I would love for you to come talk to our girls. They're sophomores in high school also. And it's a great opportunity for them to learn about, what you're doing and how you did it, because I think you are such a tremendous inspiration, not only with the impact that you're making, but just the thought that you kind of had this idea and you brought it to this point, is amazing. But I know with every kit that you give, you're, helping make a life better too. So what a great combination. And I'm so glad that Christina thought to connect us. And we also will, be sending you some ideas of organizations and, girls within our program to connect to as well for kids.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really, really lucky to be able to just share my story and share about Foundation Beauty with other people.
Well, we're so glad that you were open to doing it, and wonderful that you have so much support in your life to bring this great idea to this point. So for those of you watching, again, you can help with this great project that Isabel is working on that is slowly getting to become a 501c3 very shortly. Follow Foundation Beauty on Instagram. Go check out her website. You can, again, we have the links here for you so that you can reach out to her if you have any questions about an organization that maybe you want to connect her to for to get kits for some young girls in our community, or young women, I should say. And then also if you have any product donations, or if you have some dollars you'd like to donate, she's open to all of it. And we do encourage you to share this conversation in your life in some way now that you've heard it, integrate it into a text, a call when you're talking to someone today. Definitely tell a young woman in your life so that they can be inspired by the great work that Isabel is doing. And, definitely think about where in your life that there might be a connection for her and the great work that she's doing. So, Isabel, thank you again. And for our viewers, we wish you a fabulous, safe, healthy weekend. We do want to remind you that we've got a lot of great segments ready for you next week. So we hope you stay tuned. And also, we want to remind you that there's some great workshops that you can sign up for right now. Our Girls Leadership Academy, as I mentioned, is taking applications right now for girls that will be sophomores in high school in the fall. It's a 10-month opportunity for them to meet different mentors like Isabel Schwartz, because I'm going to draft her to be one of them, and to learn a lot of great lessons. So we hope that you share that information with the young woman in your life. Starting next week, we also have a writer's workshop that is co-hosted by Rachel Brenner and Sherry Fulham, two amazing women. And that writer's workshop is a summer edition. It's free of charge. It's 4 weeks virtual. And it's a great opportunity to help women develop their authentic voices and learn how to share their stories. And on the 16th, we have a Friendship Friday for our seniors in our community that has a lot of great information, fact or fiction, about home healthcare information. So please, we also have a lot of other great programs that you can visit our website and hear about. It's summer camp time. We know what Isabel's doing this summer, but if you don't know what your child is doing this summer, they can definitely join the YWCA for some fun at one of our 2 amazing summer camps. And we wish everyone a happy weekend. And Isabel, thank you so much for the work that you're doing again and for being such a great role model and inspiration for others around you and lifting up our community, especially at this really important time for that. And have a great summer, and we'll be watching.
I hope you have a great summer as well. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care.